Bruce obviously helped me a great deal. We kept working again and again. He asked me to show him my sidekick. I threw the kick, and in a split second, he knocked me completely off balance. I went flying backward, my chair collapsed, and the room went silent. That was when I understood something important. John Saxon was never just a handsome Hollywood actor standing beside Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon. He was not an outsider pretending to keep up with real fighters. Before his death in 2020, Saxon finally broke decades of silence to reveal a truth that changes everything we think we know about Bruce Lee. What Saxon witnessed off camera was not choreography. It was not acting. It was a terrifying display of raw, functional power that proved Bruce Lee was not playing a fighter. He was one. When John Saxon was cast as Roper, many martial arts purists dismissed him immediately. To them, he was a studio addition, a Western face meant to make audiences comfortable. Standing beside Jim Kelly and Bob Wall, Saxon looked like the odd man out. But what most people did not know was that Saxon lived a double life. Away from Hollywood lights, he trained relentlessly. He was a dedicated student of Shotokan karate under Hidetaka Nishiyama and earned a legitimate black belt in judo. Saxon knew the difference between a staged punch and a dangerous one because he had taken both. So when he arrived in Hong Kong in 1973, he watched Bruce Lee not as an actor, but as a trained fighter assessing something far more dangerous. Saxon noticed things others missed. Bruce's footwork adjusted in microscopic ways. His stillness was unsettling, like a coiled animal waiting to strike. Even the sound of air cutting around his kicks felt wrong, sharper than physics should allow. But the moment that changed Saxon forever did not happen on set. It happened weeks earlier, inside Bruce Lee's home in Los Angeles. A moment so disturbing that Saxon kept it buried for nearly 40 years. Bruce Lee disliked fakes. When Warner Brothers suggested Saxon for the role, Bruce was skeptical. He wanted someone real. Saxon didn't argue through agents. He went directly to Bruce's home. What was supposed to be a casual meeting turned into a test. Bruce led him into a private training space filled with custom equipment, heavy bags packed with metal shot, and strange machines designed to push human limits. Bruce asked Saxon to demonstrate a sidekick. Saxon delivered a crisp, textbook Shotokan kick. Bruce watched silently. Then, without warming up, Bruce stepped forward and unleashed a kick into a massive heavy bag. The bag didn't swing. It folded upward, slammed into the ceiling, and echoed like a gunshot. Bruce turned calmly and said, "That is the difference between hitting and destroying." Once filming began in Hong Kong, tension filled the set. Between takes, whispers of real challenges circulated. Local fighters wanted to test Bruce. Others wanted to make a name by taking him down. Saxon noticed Bruce moved through the set like a general in hostile territory. One day, an aggressive extra mocked Bruce loudly. The set went silent. Instead of reacting emotionally, Bruce stepped close and invited the man to strike first. His hands were down. His posture was relaxed. The extra hesitated. In that hesitation, Bruce fainted so fast the man stumbled backward without being touched. The humiliation was complete. Saxon realized Bruce defeated opponents mentally before violence ever began. The most chilling proof came during the final tournament scene. A stuntman held a reinforced shield designed to absorb full-force strikes. Saxon stood near the camera. The director called action. Bruce delivered a sidekick, momentarily slipping into full power. The stuntman was launched nearly 10 feet backward. The shield cracked. The man's arm broke instantly. Bruce rushed over in genuine concern, apologizing repeatedly. Saxon stared at the damage in disbelief. He knew that kick unprotected could have killed someone. Television could never capture that weight of power. Bruce and Saxon often talked between setups. Bruce explained Jeet Kune Do as a process of removing the unnecessary. Saxon argued that form created power. Bruce challenged him to try hitting him for 10 minutes. Saxon attacked with everything he had. He never landed a clean shot. Bruce intercepted intentions before movements. Saxon later described it as fighting a ghost that could hit like a hammer. By the end of filming, Saxon understood the truth. He was a martial artist. Bruce Lee was something else entirely. An evolutionary anomaly. Long before he was John Saxon, he was Carmine Orico, raised in Brooklyn during the Depression. His neighborhood taught survival, not technique. Fights happened in alleys, not dojos. Respect was earned through toughness. That upbringing forged his intensity. Discovered by a modeling agent, he was brought to Hollywood and renamed John Saxon. Unlike others, he sought depth. He trained at the Stella Adler Conservatory, studying human behavior with obsession. Saxon rejected being a pretty face. He gravitated toward darkness and complexity. Martial arts became his discipline. Under Nishiyama, training was brutal. No pads. No mercy. Bleeding knuckles and collapsing legs were routine. Earning his black belt was a trial by fire. He learned Mushin, the state of no mind, which later allowed him to recognize the same quality in Bruce Lee. Despite winning a Golden Globe, Hollywood tried to box him in. Saxon resisted. He took demanding roles, did his own stunts, and treated his body like a weapon. He worked with legends, including Marlon Brando in the Appaloosa, stealing scenes through stillness and explosive presence. He proved he was no lightweight. Before Enter the Dragon, Saxon was already an action star in westerns like Joe Kidd. He learned how to project danger without words. That experience prepared him for Hong Kong. He wasn't pretending to be tough. He was simply being himself. As trends shifted, Saxon adapted again, reinventing himself in A Nightmare on Elm Street. He brought gravity to horror, grounding chaos with discipline. He worked tirelessly through decades, never coasting. Every role was a dojo. In his later years, Saxon retreated quietly, becoming the last living witness to Bruce Lee's reality. He maintained his training into old age. On July 25, 2020, John Saxon passed away at 83. His death closed a chapter. He left behind testimony that finally settles the debate. Bruce Lee was not an actor who learned to fight. He was a fighter who used film as a stage. If you love uncovering the hidden stories behind classic Hollywood legends, subscribe to Classic Hollywood Feuds.